Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Ava Remington, and if you've been following this channel for a while, you already know I don't sugarcoat things. I say what needs to be said, and I say it straight. After more than 20 years working in intimacy therapy and relationship counseling, I've sat across from thousands of men in their 60s, 70s, even their 80s, and I've heard the same thing over and over again. Dr. Ava, I think I'm just too old for this. I don't have what I used to have. Bry, she deserves better than what I can give her now. And every single time I hear that, I want to lean forward and say, you've got it completely backwards. Today, I want to talk about something that most men your age were never taught, not in school, not by their fathers, not by anyone. And that's how to truly connect with a woman through touch. Not with force, not with speed, not with the kind of energy you had at 30, but with something far more powerful than any of that. Something that only comes with time, something you've actually been building your whole life without even realizing it. So stick with me here, because what I'm about to share with you changed the lives of real men I've worked with. Men just like you. Let me start with something I hear constantly in my practice. A lot of men over 60 feel this quiet, almost unspoken pressure. The body doesn't perform the way it used to. Stamina isn't what it was. And somewhere along the way, a lot of guys start believing that if they can't bring the same physical intensity they had decades ago, then they've somehow failed, that they're less of a man, less of a partner. I want to be really clear about something. That belief is not just wrong, it's actually getting in your way. Here's what 20 plus years of working with couples has shown me. The things that matter most to women, especially women who've also been around the block a few times, are not about raw physical power. What they're hungry for is presence, patience, the feeling of being genuinely seen and cared for. And those are things, gentlemen, that get better with age, not worse. Research out of the University of California actually supports this. As people get older, the emotional component of physical intimacy becomes significantly more important than the purely physical one. Skin sensitivity shifts, yes, but the capacity for emotional attunement, the ability to truly read another person, to be present with them, to make them feel safe, that deepens with life experience. You've been doing the work your whole life. You just didn't know that's what it was. So let me reframe this for you entirely. You're not working with less. You're working with different. And different, in this case, is actually better. Now, one of the biggest misconceptions I see, and I see it a lot, is that men think the most important question is where to touch. They come into my office having read articles, watched videos, convinced that if they could just find the right spot, everything would fall into place. And look, I understand why. We live in a culture that loves a quick fix, a life hack, a 3-step shortcut to everything. But here's the truth, and I need you to really sit with this. It's not about where you touch. It's about how you touch, especially for women who are a little older, who've been through life, who've experienced their share of stress and change, and maybe a few disappointments. What they respond to is not technique, it's intention. It's the feeling that the person touching them actually cares, that they're not in a rush, that they're not just going through the motions to get somewhere else. There's a landmark study from the Karolinska Institute in Sweden that found the rhythm and quality of physical touch directly affect emotional experience. Specifically, when touch is slow, steady, and intentional, the brain interprets it as safety and closeness. That's not poetry, that's neuroscience. Your nervous system is literally wired to respond to gentle, unhurried touch as a signal that you are safe, that you are loved, that you are with someone who is truly there with you. So when you slow down, when you take your time, when you move with purpose and care, you're not compensating for anything. You're doing exactly what the human body is designed to respond to. Now let's get practical, because theory only takes you so far. Before you ever lay a hand on your partner, I want you to think about the environment you're creating. This part gets overlooked constantly, and honestly, it might be the most important step of all. Women, and again, especially women who are a bit older, are incredibly sensitive to atmosphere, to how a room feels, to the energy in the space. You walk into a cold, brightly lit room with the TV blaring in the background, and no matter how skilled your hands are, you've already lost half the battle. So here's what you do instead. Dim the lights, not pitch dark, just soft. Maybe a lamp instead of the overhead. If you've got candles, even better. Put on some music, something calm and low. Nothing with lyrics that are going to pull her attention away. The temperature in the room should be warm, not cold. Nobody relaxes when they're chilly. And clear the clutter. I know that sounds small, but a messy environment creates mental noise, and mental noise is the enemy of relaxation. These things cost you nothing, but they signal something that money can't buy. That you thought about her comfort before she even walked in, that you prepared, that she matters enough for you to put in that effort. And then there's your hands. Please, please don't skip this. Make sure your hands are clean and warm. Use a little hand lotion beforehand. Not perfumed stuff, just something simple to soften the skin. Check your nails, trim them, file them if needed. I know it sounds almost too basic to mention, but I've had women tell me in sessions that a scratchy nail or rough skin completely pulled them out of the moment. Details matter. Now, and this one is crucial, don't just walk up and start touching her without a word. That's one of the most common mistakes I see, and it creates anxiety, not relaxation. Instead, use your voice first. Say something simple. Hey, would it be okay if I gave you a little shoulder rub? Or, I thought maybe I could help you unwind tonight. That's all it takes. That small verbal check-in does something really important. It hands her control. It says, I'm here for you, not for me. And when a woman feels that kind of safety, she opens up in ways that no technique in the world can force. All right, so the room is set. You've checked in with her. She's comfortable. Now you actually begin. And here's where I want you to forget everything you think you know about being good at this. I don't want you focused on performance. I don't want you trying to remember a list of steps. I want you to do one thing. Pay attention to her. Start with the palms of your hands, not your fingertips. Your whole hand, flat and warm against her skin. The reason for this is simple. Distributing pressure across a larger surface feels softer, safer, less intrusive. It's the difference between being poked and being held. And right now, you want her to feel held. Use almost no pressure at first. I mean it, lighter than you think is necessary. You can always increase pressure gradually, but starting too firm creates tension. Starting too soft creates curiosity, and curiosity is exactly where you want her. Move slowly, deliberately. Think about matching the pace of your breathing to the pace of your hands. Breathe in, slow stroke. Breathe out, slow return. There's something almost meditative about it, and she will feel that. She will feel your calm, your focus, your presence, because the body doesn't lie. If you're distracted or anxious or rushing, your hands will communicate that just as clearly as your words would. Begin away from any sensitive areas. Start at the shoulders, the upper back, the base of the neck. Work outward from the spine in gentle circular motions. Then slowly, over time, let your touch wander down the sides of the back, across the lower back, toward the hips. Always moving from the outside in, never jumping straight to the destination. The journey is the point. A lot of men ask me about specific areas, and I get it. You want to know you're doing the right thing. But I'm going to tell you something that's more valuable than any map of the body. Watch her face. When your touch is landing right, her face will tell you. Her eyes will close more fully. The tension around her mouth will soften. Her breathing will shift, either deepening into real relaxation or quickening slightly as sensation builds. Her shoulders will drop. Her hands will unclench. These are not subtle signals if you know what to look for. Her body is talking to you constantly. Your only job is to listen. If her breathing gets shallow or her muscles tighten, that's a signal too. Slow down, ease up, go back to something more neutral. Don't push through it, don't ignore it. Responding to those signals in real time is what separates someone who's just going through the motions from someone who genuinely connects. And when something is working, when you see that softening, that relaxation, that quiet ease in her expression, stay there a little longer. Don't rush past it to the next thing. Good moments deserve to be extended, not hurried through. Now, there are some things I really need you to avoid because I see these mistakes all the time and they can undo everything you've built in just a few seconds. The first one is rushing. I know I've already said this, but it bears repeating because it's that common. The moment your touch speeds up, the moment she can feel that you're trying to get somewhere, the whole dynamic shifts. She goes from feeling cherished to feeling like a means to an end. And once that happens, it's very hard to recover in the same session. Slow is not just a style preference, slow is the entire message. The second mistake is staying too long in one place or fixating on a specific area. Even if something worked last time, her body is different today, her mood is different, her stress level is different, her sensitivity is different. You have to earn her trust in the moment, every single time. Rigidity is the enemy of intimacy. Third, and I cannot stress this enough, don't go silent. Don't just work in total silence with a blank expression on your face. Women experience intimacy holistically. She's not just feeling your hands, she's feeling the entire experience. So, let her hear your voice occasionally. Say something soft. Is this okay? Does this feel good? You don't need a script. You just need her to know that you're present, that you're aware of her, that this isn't something you're doing on autopilot. And fourth, don't make it about the destination. This is the big one. The moment the touch becomes obviously goal-directed, it loses its magic. What you're building here is not a sequence of steps leading to a specific outcome. What you're building is an experience of genuine closeness. Keep your attention on her, on this moment, on making her feel wonderful right now. Let everything else take care of itself. I want to tell you about a man I worked with. I'll call him Robert. Robert was 71 years old when he first came to see me. He and his wife, Carol, had been married for over 40 years. He came in alone and he sat down across from me looking like a man carrying something very heavy. He told me that he and Carol had grown distant. Not in a dramatic way, no big falling out, just a slow, quiet drift. Years of busyness, of stress, of kids and grandkids and health scares. And somewhere in all of that, the physical closeness between them had just faded. He told me he'd tried to reconnect. He'd bought her flowers, he'd taken her to dinner, but something wasn't landing, and he thought maybe it was just too late, that this was just what happened after 4 decades together. I gave Robert one simple homework assignment. I asked him to spend 15 minutes, 3 evenings a week, just sitting with Carol and offering her a back and shoulder massage. No pressure, no agenda, just touch with the intention of making her feel cared for. That's it. He came back 3 weeks later, and honestly, he looked like a different man. He told me that the second evening he'd done it, Carol had started to cry. Not from sadness, but from relief. She told him she hadn't realized how much she'd missed being touched like that. Like she mattered. Like he saw her. He said to me, "Dr. Ava, I didn't do anything special. I just slowed down and paid attention to her." And I told him, "Robert, that is the most special thing there is. That's what I want for every single one of you watching this. Not a technique, not a hack. A genuine connection, built through the simple, profound act of being present with another person through touch." Because here's what I know after 20 years of this work. The men who are the most deeply satisfying partners are not the ones with the most stamina or the flashiest moves. They're the ones who make their partners feel like the most important person in the room. And that, gentlemen, has nothing to do with age. In fact, it gets easier the older you get. Because you've stopped performing and started actually being there. Your hands carry your history. Every year you've lived, every lesson you've learned, every moment of tenderness you've given and received, all of it lives in how you touch. Don't underestimate that. Don't apologize for it. You are not past your prime. You are in a different kind of prime, one that most younger men don't even have access to yet. The patience, the attentiveness, the genuine care you can bring to a partner right now is extraordinary. You just have to trust it. So here's what I want you to walk away with today. The environment matters. Set it up for her, not for you. Your preparation matters. Warm hands, trimmed nails, a soft voice before you begin. The quality of your touch matters more than any location on the body. Slow, intentional, present touch is not a consolation prize. It is the gold standard. Her nonverbal signals are your guide. Watch her face, her breathing, her body, and respond in real time. And the goal is not a destination. The goal is the feeling of being completely, genuinely close to another person. That's it. That's the whole thing. If this video resonated with you, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Tell me what you tried. Tell me what worked. Tell me what questions you've got. Your experience isn't just valuable to me. It might be exactly what someone else watching this needs to hear. We're building something here together, and every one of your stories matters. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I put out new videos every week on intimacy, connection, and living fully in the second half of life. Because this chapter, it can be the best one yet. I'll see you in the next one.